ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. So we are seeing the qualities of a bhakta, and we saw up to verse 14. So 13 and 14, two verses we have seen. Today we continue the 15th one. Yasmanno dvijate lokaha lokanno dvijate chayaha harsham harshabhayodvegaihi mukto yah sacha me priyaha. So Bhagavan says, Yasman na udvijate lokaha. The world does not agitate the bhakta, and the bhakta does not agitate the world. So that is the meaning. Yasman na udvijate lokaha. By whom the world is not agitated, and loka na udvijate chayaha, and he is not agitated by the world. So both don't agitate each other. Shankaracharya ji says it is like the fish and the water. Or any aquatic creature living in water, in the ocean. The ocean does not agitate the aquatic creature does not agitate the ocean, because that's the natural habitat. In this context, how does it apply? The Supreme Bhakta, who is one with Bhagavan, does not see the world as different from Bhagavan. And so the world is not disturbed by the Bhakta, Bhakta is not disturbed by the world. That's the standpoint of oneness, the standpoint of seeing Bhagavan alone, where the ego has dissolved completely. At our sadhana level, then what should we apply then? Yasman na udvijate lokaha. So the world is not agitated by this person, meaning the person does not do anything to agitate the world. When we act, many times we act out of attachment, we act out of revenge, out of dvesha, we want to disturb people, or we want to take some, settle some scores, or teach some lesson to somebody, and one has a certain personal agenda. So when he says here, Yasman na udvijate lokaha, from this bhakta, the world is not disturbed. See, it is not that with the actions of a devotee, the world will never be disturbed. The world can be disturbed, but the devotee is not doing to disturb the world. That is the first point. Yasman na udvijate lokaha. Like Buddha, when he inspired many young people and many of them took up to sannyas, so the parents of many of the young people were very disturbed. But they took because they were inspired and they wanted to renounce. And Buddha's intention is not to disturb them, to agitate them. Same way, if you see so many bhaktas, Mirabai is so much single pointed in devotion to Bhagavan Krishna. Now the family members are disturbed, but she is not doing it to disturb them. Like that, you see, Tukaramji is so absorbed in his bhakti towards Bhagavan Vithala. Now the wife is very angry and upset with him. Bhakta is not doing it to disturb. Now, if Bhakta has that Ananya Bhav and Bhakta is having that kind of devotion towards Bhagwan, then what can the Bhakta do? The world gets agitated because of their attachment or their certain insistence. So we have to understand it in that context. Yasma na udvijate lokah. This Bhakta is not doing anything to disturb the world. In fact, Bhakta will do things to remove disturbance from the world, to help people to come out of their sorrow, to be compassionate, do service. Then that is a true Bhakta. Now, if the Bhakta's sadhana, bhakti, absorption, etc., is leading that person, leading anybody in the world to disturbance, that is not what Bhakta is responsible for. If somebody is wantedly doing something in the name of bhakti to disturb others, that's a different point. That is not what is meant here. Genuinely, somebody is serving, somebody is devoted to Bhagwan and is seeing the world also as expression of the Bhagwan and does what one can do out of purity of mind, out of sattvic attitude. That is what is referred to here. So, one who is not doing anything to agitate the world. Otherwise, in the world, people are there, they do anything to agitate. Wantedly, they will plan to irritate, to tease, to play pranks, to make the life of other people miserable, do things where they will deceit, they will cheat, tell lies, or do backstabbing, gossiping. So many things one does where one consciously wants to disturb the other person. Bhakta is not doing any of that. So yasma na udvijate lokaha. Akhandanandji once gave a very nice definition of a sadhak. Who is sadhak? Sadhak is one who is not a badhak to anybody. And that's why sometimes the sadhana is done in secret. Gupta sadhana one does. There are many reasons why Gupta sadhana one does. One of the reasons is this, because if one starts doing sadhana where people see you doing sadhana, and suppose one is, advanced and has gone very deep into sadhana, people will get disturbed because they become insecure and they start feeling that, okay, this person now will not do the duties, will leave everything, will become disinterested, and all kinds of notions they will have. Gupta sadhana is also done so that our ahankar does not rise. Many reasons are there, Gupta sadhana. One gets full privacy, solitude, all that. Many beautiful reasons are there. But that's why the spiritual masters, they advise in at a certain stage in the beginning, etc. One does Gupta sadhana. So that don't disturb the world. So yasman na udvijate lokaha. At some point it will happen that the world will get disturbed by itself, because the moment one takes to the spiritual path, one becomes more intense. The world which had control on that seeker, people had some control because of attachments, that goes. And a person who has no fear, what will come now? Harsha, Amarsha, Bhaya, Udvegaihi, Muktaha. He is freed from pairs of opposites, doesn't bother about it. Success, failure, fear, all that one drops. So the world can't anymore control that person. There's no attachment. Such people the world gets scared of, because anybody who has attachment, you can pull them down because of their attachment. Now Bhakta doesn't have attachment. So there will be people in the world who may try to put obstacles in the life of the Bhakta. That is the second line. The world will not disturb this Bhakta then. See, both the lines one has to understand in a deeper context. It can't be just taken literally, saying the world does not disturb the person does not disturb the world. World does not disturb the person, and person does not disturb the world. Means what? World can do anything, but the person will not get disturbed. And the person does sadhana not to disturb the world. If the world is getting disturbed on its own, people are getting disturbed on their own, that is their attachment. Hiranyakashipu did so much to disturb Prahlad, to even destroy his life. Prahlad didn't get disturbed. That is the next part. Loka na udvijate chayaha. So one who is not disturbed by the world and who does not disturb the world, um, so how the bhakta remains undisturbed? Because the bhakta is anchored in bhakti. Even if the world tries to disturb the person, put obstacles on their path, Gurudev was even cursed by people saying ki your tongue will blast into 1,000 pieces, you are talking in Mlecha Bhasha, you are giving this knowledge to people from all backgrounds without any inhibitions, restrictions, qualified, unqualified, anybody sitting and you are giving knowledge to them. Gurudev didn't bother only. Because his mind was clear. He is doing it to revive Sanatan Dharma. He is doing it to build the nation. He didn't have a personal interest in it. So he kept doing his sadhana and his work. So Bhakta will not get disturbed by the world. Some people will praise also, some people will criticize also. Bhakta doesn't bother. If somebody praises Bhagwan, Bhakta says credit to all, credit to Bhagwan, he is the Karta. If somebody criticizes, Bhakta takes it at face value and understands if there's something to improve, we improve. If it's just a vain criticism, leave it, ignore. So Bhakta is anchored in bhakti. Bhakta does not allow the ego to come into play, because that is what creates all the trouble. So yasman na udvijate lokaha, lokan na udvijate cha yaha. Who does not disturb the world, whom the world does not disturb. The world can get disturbed because of its own attachment, and the world can disturb the bhakta because of their own behavior, but the bhakta will still not get disturbed. Eknath ji, on him 108 times that person came and spat, but he didn't get disturbed. So we should not think literally ki acha, then Swamiji I'll become bhakta. Why? Because the world will not trouble me, I will not trouble the world. That is not going to happen. In fact, bhakta, what the bhakta does, the world has lot of problems with that. And that's why they try to even, because bhakta will be fearless. So many social evils, bhakta will even speak against and try to set right. Then the society will start putting obstacles. People in power will start creating all kinds of troubles. But bhakta is very clear. This is the vision, this is oneness, this is the higher purpose. So bhakta goes on. And when bhakta does sadhana, the world also gets disturbed. And not only this world, even Daivik Srishti. So the devatas also sometimes get disturbed. Indra gets disturbed. All kinds of temptations Indra will also send. In the form of Maya, Maya will do many things. But point here is this, Bhakta is one who has that much anchoring in Bhagwan. No matter what obstacles come, the Bhakta will do the sadhana. See, I'm talking about sadhak level right now. The one who is siddha already, for that person, so anyway, no disturbance. because the ego is gone, one with Bhagwan. But for us, when we are doing sadhana, we should remember this, that what happens in the world should not disturb me. It takes time to get there, a lot of effort also, more detachment it requires. We may want certain things to happen in a certain way by certain time. It may not happen. We have to learn to let go and understand, oh, this is my attachment that is causing disturbance. We may say this person did that, that person did that, this should have happened, that should have happened, this should not have happened. We may have all those reasons, but internally one should retain the balance. Externally, yes, for some reasons we may say this should be done, that should be done, if there's an organization or there's a family or company, wherever one is, because there is a vyavaharik element to it. And one may say it in a forceful way also, but inside one should know nothing. Finally, it is all one game going on. So the internal equilibrium and anchoring, that should not change. It does not mean that the world can do anything and get away with it and the bhakta will just not react. If it is an individual sadhana, if one is doing as an individual bhakta, that's okay. But if there is a responsibility of a family, of a company, of a country, of a organization, then one has to be alert. It can't be only one individual's thinking. It has to be that role also. And in that role, if one has to take certain strong decisions, one has to take. The intent has to be clear. Intent is in the right direction for the right purpose. It's not for ego boosting. So, yasman na udvijate loka, lokan na udvijate cha yaha. One doesn't do anything to disturb the world on purpose. One does what is the best as a sadhak, as an offering to Bhagavan. Then deal with whatever comes. And whenever the world does anything, let it not disturb the mind. Internally in equilibrium. So, yasmanna udvijate lokaha, lokanna udvijate cha yaha. This you can apply even in leadership. Who is a great leader? Who doesn't disturb the people and the people don't disturb this leader? Meaning there's a great bonding between both the leader and the team, the leader and the whole company. If that is there, because see what happens is it is difficult to act in such a way that people don't feel disturbed. Keeping a certain vision in mind when one does actions, there may be people who are jealous, who are insecure, who suddenly get triggered, who suddenly feel threatened. That is possible because that is their challenge. One has to be clear that I am not doing this with this intent, and so as much one can take along, one takes along. Through one's behavior, through communication, etc., one can make all those efforts. After that also people get disturbed and they feel jealous and they try to pull you down. That is their limitation. One can't blame oneself for that. So, yasman no dvijate lokaha, lokan no dvijate chayaha. Harsha, amarsha, bhaya. Three things. Extreme elation. Harsha means that here. One gets very elated at small things. Some success, some wealth, some fame. Harsha, very elated. And the point is the udvega of these three, harsha, amarsha, bhaya, udvegaihi muktaha. The onrush of these. So when there is great excitement, in that rush of excitement, one forgets sometimes who one is, who is in front of me, what is maryada, what is my limit. I should be rooted, grounded. One just takes off. Some little success, name, fame, popularity comes, money. Sometimes it can take a person into breaking morality, doing things which are adharmic, having the notion that I am powerful, I can get away with it, I have contacts, I have this, I have that. So, elation can take a person to the seventh heaven and make that person completely uprooted. Even the person is not grounded. Humility, objectivity, focusing on the duty. Sometimes one starts drinking alcohol, drugs, all kinds of uncontrolled indulgence. Why? Because now I am glorious, I am famous, I am popular, I am wealthy, I am this, I am that. It goes on. So, this point, Udvega is the main point here. Harsha Udvega Muktaha. Then Amarsha Udvega Muktaha. Amarsha means, this envy, jealousy. So this person is free from that. There is no jealousy, envy. When we are not sufficient within ourselves, when we are not feeling good, happy, you know, confident by ourselves, then we compare. And when somebody has more than me, what I want, and somebody has that and I don't have it, or they have more than what I have, and I value that, then I feel lesser, then I feel they are better, and then sometimes jealousy will arise. It can be in any material possession, clothes, money, fame, today there is number of followers. Amarsha Mukta. Why is Bhakta free from the Amarsha Udvega, the impulsive onrush of jealousy? Because Bhakta finds joy in Bhagavan, Bhakta finds joy in sadhana, Bhakta finds that all are expressions of Bhagavan and one does seva of Bhagavan. Bhakta finds joy in the very selfless service, smiles and talks to everybody, does not want to pull anybody down, does not entertain envy. If there is some glory somewhere, one says, this is the glory of my Bhagavan. Like we saw in the 10th chapter, Bhagavan says, no, yadyad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimad urjitam eva va tatta devava gachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. It is one amsha of my teja. Wherever you see something glorious, know that to be a small amsha of my infinite brilliance. So if one has that vision and that clarity, this is all coming from Bhagavan. When will one have that? When one feels that about oneself also. Ki whatever is good in me is belonging to Bhagavan. I don't take ego for it. Whatever is negative also is there because of Bhagavan only. And Bhagavan's Kripa, I am working on it and it will be also, one way I will get out of it. So whatever is because of Bhagavan. I am his instrument. He is only taking care of this. And so same way are others. So if there is something glorious somewhere, one will see the vision of divine. See, it is very easy to do that in terms of the things, like the glory of the sun. It doesn't affect us directly. We feel no jealousy towards sun. The sun is able to give so much of light. I can't even give little light because it's not affecting us directly in that sense. That is the beauty of sun, and so we can say that I can see the divine in the sun, I can see the divine in the moon, in the mountain, in the river, in the plant, in the everywhere around. But when it comes to human being, then one feels the comparison starts. Then the jealousy starts. Because the expectation is that, or the false notion is that happiness is outside. And if I get that, I will be happy. Now I didn't get it, that person got it. Or I got less, that person got more. It is stemming from this ignorance that happiness is outside, and by getting that, my happiness will increase or my life will be better. Bhakta says happiness is only in Bhagwan. So there is no question of if some things are there in the world with me, they are there. If they are not there, doesn't matter. There is no envy in the mind of a bhakta at all. Because that envy comes from that very insecure place. I am not happy with what I have. That itself is the first problem. That means I'm not seeing much more in me that Bhagavan has blessed me with, in me and with me. I'm not seeing that. I'm only seeing what I am missing. And then comparing and then feeling envious. Admiration is required, not envy. If somebody has achieved some greatness, we admire, ki, wow, what a greatness this person achieved, and congratulate, genuinely feel good for them, genuinely wish them more success. But if it is in the same field and that person happens to be a competitor and that person has won and I lost, I didn't get it, that person got it, then envy starts. But that is unnecessary emotion, that negative emotion. One can go and congratulate, admire the person, how that person won it with all the efforts, etc. That's all. If one has to strive for it next time, not a problem. But what is the point of jealousy? Nothing. It will only pull me down. It will make me do wrong things sometimes. Because when one is jealous, then one will try to hurt the other also. You just think about it, Pandavas and Kauravas. Whole time Kauravas spent in only trying to pull the Pandavas down. Look at the jealousy and insecurity that is there in the mind of Duryodhan as well as Karna. Both of them are going up against Bhim and Arjun respectively. They both by themselves are talented. They can do so much more. But the whole energy went only in trying to pull the opposite person down. That is what jealousy will do. One will not be able to see the glory, the beauty, the benefit of what one has, and then one feels lesser with what one has. You think about it, in the first chapter of the Gita, it comes or not. Duryodhan says, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tvidam balam bhimabhirakshitam. Aparyaptam is the word used there. Aparyaptam means infinite and insufficient, both. Means our army is infinite, meaning it is much more larger than Pandava army. 7 Akshavini Pandavas have. These people have 11. And look at the kind of warriors they have. Bhishma can't be killed by anybody. He has Ichha Mrityu Vardhan. Dronacharya has taught everybody. There is no one capable of defeating Dronacharya. Kripacharya is an immortal. Karna is having a Shakti. You know. Duryodhan, he has been taught by Balram, and later on his mother also transfers his power to him. Ashwathama is one another immortal. Now just look at the number of people in that side. Quantity wise they are huge, quality wise they have enough. What do Pandavas have? Quantity wise also they are less. 7 Akshavini only. Except Arjun having Pashupat Astra, there is nobody else who is having some divine missile and weapon and all that. No boons. One Ghatotkash they have with them. Huge. Beyond that, what do they have? Nothing more they have. Krishna Bhagwan is there with them, who is not going to lift a weapon. So who should feel jealous of whom actually? Pandava should actually feel insecure, no? But this jealousy and insecurity is very weird, no? Kauravas are jealous of them. Full life Kauravas have lived in comfort, still they are jealous of Pandavas. Just look at that. Took away their full kingdom, gave half of it to them, snatched that away also in the game of dice. Before all that, attempted on their lives with Lakshagraha and poisoning Bhim with the laddus. So many things they have done to go on killing the Pandavas, destroying them. did not leave them in peace even in the Ajnatavas time, even in the forest. Durvasa Muni was sent there, and Duryodhan also went there to attack them. So many things they did. Full life went only in trying to pull the Pandavas down. And Pandavas, on the other hand, have led such a hard life. Their father died. Then they came back. The kingdom does not, they don't have kingdom with them. And this Duryodhan is attempting on their life. Nobody is telling anything to him. And then they go to Lakshagraha, then they try to burn them. What all doesn't happen with Pandavas. But they don't leave Dharma. They remember Bhagwan at all difficult times. And no insecurity in their mind, no jealousy in their mind. They are ready to adjust also, finally saying, okay, just 5 villages, we don't want this war. Look at the opposite. Having everything, Kauravas are still jealous. Having hardly anything, Pandavas are not jealous. Why? Bhakti. That's the power of bhakti. Anchoring within. So, Harsha, Amarsha, Gurudev always used to say, contented life sparkles with joy. We saw that last time now. Santushta Satatam Yogi, in that we saw. Contentment is such a very important quality. So, Harsha, Amarsha, Bhaya, they don't have fear also. The Udveg of fear also they are out of. Harsha, Amarsha, Bhaya, Udvegaihi Muktaha. Why no fear? Because Shraddha is there ki Bhagwan is with me no matter what happens. Our Shraddha is only as long as things are good, we feel Bhagwan is with me, and we keep saying gratitude to Bhagwan, thank you to Bhagwan, and nowadays people say Shukrana, Shukrana, they keep doing. Be thankful to Bhagwan. Why? Because everything happens by Bhagwan's grace. So when things are good, we keep saying that. Now the moment things go little away from our expectation, some disappointment, something I didn't get, some betrayal, something happened in my life. Now, where is Bhagwan? Which Bhagwan? Bhagwan is not there with me. Why did this happen to me? This should not have happened to me. Well, react. Bhakta is fearless. Even so-called unpleasant things are coming from Bhagwan only. He is the karma phaladata and he will not do partiality. If it has come, that means some karmic consequence only Bhagwan is sending. So when a bhakta has that Shraddha, the abidance of bhakta is in the Shraddha. All this right now I am saying is from sadhak level. The Siddha Purusha has already gone beyond Harsha, Amarsha, Bhaya because the person is seeing only oneness. But a sadhak, sometimes Bhaya may come, Bhaya may come. Bhaya need not be only from people, from some animal, some loss of money, loss of fame. Fear can be of different types. Even when one does dhyan sadhana, etc., or even any japa sadhana, if one goes deeper into the sadhana, sometimes impurities of the mind will keep coming out. One will feel sometimes that, oh God, why this is happening? I was better off before sadhana. Now I started doing sadhana and more vulgar thoughts, more angry thoughts, more disturbing thoughts are coming to me. Bhakta doesn't have those kind of judgments. One says, yes, they are coming, I am holding on to Bhagwan, Bhagwan will help me to deal with it, and they come and they go, let them go. They are passing. Leave them. No bhaya of from inside of any agitation, subjective agitations. No bhaya from people and beings around. No bhaya from Adi Daivik forces also. Why? Because whatever comes, Sadevo Yadeva Kurute Tadeva Mangalaya. Whatever that Bhagwan does for us is for our good. That firm conviction one has. So the most unpleasant thing also one will go through it thinking Bhagwan is with me, and that bhavana is very important. Then Bhagavan says, Saha Yaha Sacha Me Priyaha. Whoever is this Bhakta who has these qualities. So when Udvega is not there of Harsha, Amarsha and Bhaya, that mind will be so much peaceful. Otherwise, that mind is excited. Oh, some elation, oh, some dejection, oh, some fear, some sorrow. It goes on. Some jealousy, some greed. Full on, the mind will be extroverted. So, no bhaya. Either one should have bhakti of our Bhagavan, or if one is doing any Guru Upasana and one is thinking Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, then the Guru. But Shraddha is the cause of fearlessness. Faith makes us fearless. If it is only a weak belief, then it may not work, but faith will definitely make a person fearless. And again, I'm saying, remember, this does not mean unpleasant things don't happen to a bhakta. This may happen. And bhakta will take it in one stride. One should not judge saying that if I am a bhakta, then why these things happen to me. That means Bhagavan is not there. Otherwise, Bhagavan would have protected me. How do you know that Bhagavan is not working out your karma? Any sorrow, suffering, limitation, accident, loss, betrayal, any of these can happen to bhakta also. Bhakta says, if it has come from Bhagavan. And it has come because of what? Some past karma of mine. I accept with dignity whatever has come. How to deal with it? Also, Bhagavan has given me the free will now. I will handle it in an objective way, in a balanced way, not with impulsiveness. No, this udvega, not with udvega. Harsha, amarsha, bhaya, udvega. Today in the world we are so addicted to this dopamine rush. That is, excitement levels keep increasing. And so the normal today seems boring because the mind is used to overstimulation. And so it continuously needs the dopamine release and the kick. Ordinary things don't give that now. So now that becomes boring. Bhakta is not bothered with that. And that's why sometime in the day when we are withdrawn from everything, sitting anchored in bhakti, remembering Bhagavan, doing japa, puja, bhajan, whatever, meditation, where the senses are not engaged, in fact, they are withdrawn. And only one is thinking of Bhagavan. Then this steadiness will come. All this will come only through sadhana. One can read any number of books, this will not work. Harsha, Amarsha, Bhaya, Udvega, how will we get out of? Only through anchoring in sadhana. Every day do some japa, do some puja, do some dhyan, and anchor and connect to Bhagwan. Don't say that, no, I will just observe the breathing and I will become quiet. You can make the mind quiet with breath observation. But bhakti is what will help the ego to surrender. And that is what will be helpful to free ourselves from this harsha, amarsha, bhaya. And that is what finally will unite us with Bhagavan also. We don't want only peace of mind, we want to realize the absolute and the state of fulfillment. So this is beautiful shloka number 15. Now continuing that, Anapeksha shuchir dakshaha udasino gatavyathah sarvarambha parityagi yo madbhakta same priyaha. That earlier shloka, bhaya is there, na? That Upanishad says, Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. There is, the moment I see two, then there is fear. I don't know if you have seen, some of these videos which are there, they are very entertaining also. And that is what you see some small child who is scared of a shadow. It's very amazing. We grew up, we made our siblings also grow up, but none of our siblings had any of those fears, so I didn't know that. Then I was seeing on Instagram something came up on my feed, and I'm like, "Arey, look at this small baby, it's so scared of its own shadow. First time it is seeing its own shadow. And this baby is running here and there. Ki, what is this? Why is this coming along with me?" To us, it sounds very funny, but that's what we are doing. And Mahatmas are laughing at us. Ki, "Arey, this is the ego. The ego is the shadow. The real person is different. Like we are fully identified with the ego." Another example is of this, the animals. So some bird will be there, or any creature, animal, tiger, lion, any cat, dog, whichever. And there's a mirror which is kept. So this animal goes and sees one more animal there and barks or makes a sound or anything, and then tries to go behind and see if there's nobody. Again comes front, again sees there too, again goes behind, there's nobody. Our life is also like that only. There's only one truth which is reflecting in all the hearts. But we are not seeing that one. We are thinking it is different. So this Uchchakoti Bhakta who has become one with Bhagwan sees only oneness. But as I said, we want to do as a sadhana, so then one must have Shraddha, firm faith in Bhagwan. Not a single moment Prahladji doubted that will Bhagwan protect me. That is Shraddha. So, Bhaya Udvegahi Muktaha. Now he says here, 16th one, Anapekshaha. No expectation or wants. Let us keep it as wants. Anapekshaha. Meaning, no psychological wants. Functionally, one may need something. There's a certain expectation functionally, especially if you are serving and if you are with people and having responsibility, then apeksha will be there. No? But duragraha is not there, agraha is not there, meaning insistence is not there. One does what one has to do. Psychologically, one is not depending on happiness for that, on that. So anapeksha means that no psychological dependence on anything else for happiness. One is focused only on the self in or Bhagwan within. And one will always think, by doing this, will Bhagwan be pleased or not? If Bhagwan is not pleased, I am not doing it. Swamiji, how will I know Bhagwan is pleased? Shastra one can read and understand. If it is my duty and I am doing it and dedicating it to Bhagwan, of course Bhagwan will be pleased. If it is something adharmic, I should not do it. If it is something which is hurting, harming me and others, should not do it. If one is trying to overcome a dislike or a aversion and then one is pushing oneself out of comfort zone and there is little bit of discomfort in that, or trying to drop an attachment, that is a different point where one is trying to overcome a certain comfort zone or a certain aversion. But in general, otherwise, what is hurtful, harmful, one does not do. And one will know because the inner conscience will be light. So, anapeksha means that one does actions with detachment, anapeksha. Shuchihi, very clean. See, bhakta is not somebody who just does not keep cleanliness, is very dirty, doesn't take bath, wear somehow some clothes, doesn't wash them for days on end. You know, all the things in the room are dirty, not used, not cleaned properly, just somehow they're lying. Carelessness is not bhakti. If one has come to that high level of vairagya where the mind is so absorbed only in devotion that one is not bothered, one remains in samadhi for days on end, hours together, that's a different point. But otherwise, cleanliness is very dear to Bhagwan. So when he says here, Shuchihi, external cleanliness and internal cleanliness, morality, dharma in thought, word, and deed, both are important. External cleanliness also depicts the attitude of the mind. If things are clean, kept properly, neat, orderly, arranged well, that shows a certain level of discipline of the mind. And bhakta is one who is disciplined. Bhakta is not some, you know, ayaram, gayaram, doing anything anyhow, not having any proper standards. That's what people think. ये तो भगत आदमी है, meaning anything is justified. No, no. So, Shuchihi, even the place of Bhagwan itself should be kept clean. How much time, so many temples we go, etc. We litter that place and come. So many of our, now Kumbh Mela will happen, no? How many rivers, how many times we pollute our rivers? Wash, it is so stunning, when Narmada Parikrama I went to Parikrama Vasis, etc., it will be told again and again, you don't wash your clothes with soap and all that in the Narmada. She is our mother, she is a holy river. But so many times people will still wash, and the people who are living on the banks of Narmada, they also go and wash, pollute the whole thing with all kinds of whatever soap and this and that, put all kinds of, you know, sewage water and everything is going into the rivers, polluting it. So, Shuchihi, when we say Bhagwan loves cleanliness, then there has to be cleanliness, waste has to be disposed in a proper way, and there are so many methods now. But if we don't do all that, then we say, I'm a great bhakta. But when Bhagwan says, Yo mat bhakta samay priya, this type of bhakta who is clean, who is free from insistence, such people are the devotees whom I love. Then one has to be very, careful. Ki what Bhagwan loves, I should do. So one should be very cautious of this. Bhakti does not sanction any type of uncleanliness or polluting the rivers and the trees and the mountains and the temples and sacred places of worship. No, no. Whether it's a house, whether it is a office, whether it is the roads, whether it is the walls, how many people will go and spit there only where it is written, do not spit here. They'll go and spit there. Just to show their ego. Who are you to tell me I'll spit there only? Sometimes people call themselves as great bhaktas but do all kinds of egoistic behavior. So, bhakta is one who will maintain cleanliness. Cleanliness of the clothes also, cleanliness in the thought, cleanliness of the body, cleanliness of the place, of the puja. In the samagri, the puja samagri, we purify. Ourselves we purify. We put some water on ourselves. Pranas we purify. Asan we purify. Why? Because the Supreme is the purer than the purest. And to worship the Supreme, we need purity. And purity is the most important quality in spiritual life. It is not even a lot of intellectual knowledge. One may have studied little lesser or very less, in fact. But if the chitta shuddhi is very high, the purity of the mind is very high, the person will realize like this. So Shuchihi means that purity. Cleanliness is one aspect of it. So in a puja, when we sit, we purify all this in Purva Puja before we start the Mukhya Puja. Think about it, even in a ritual. I said this some time back. I was reflecting on one of the topics, marriage, and there was some discussion that happened. So we discussed that time that see marriage when we want to do it is a samskara. It is a sacred ritual where devatas are being invoked. It's not simply fire which is lit there and some mantras are chanted and people go around and all kinds of wrong notions people still have, thanks to Bollywood and all the others who have made it so popular. Saat Fere, Saat Janam Ka Saath. Where is it all written? It's not there anywhere. There are no Saat Feras. There is only Saptapadi. Saptapadi is different from Saat Fera. Feras are only four. And nowhere it is written that you will be bound together for 7 lives together. And every life you are bound for 7 lives means you will have the same partner continuously in the whole journey of evolution. What is this? All that people create on their own. So now if you see marriages, when it happens, if the ritual has to happen, devatas are being invoked, purity has to be there. Of everything, not only the samagri, of that person, of the pandit, of the people who are getting married, of the environment there. Now people do bharat and all that and they drink alcohol and they come fully sloshed. What kind of a marriage will be, and do you really think devatas are going to come there? They will not land up there because the environment is such. Bhoga Pradhan environment, it is full on. Marriage is going on one side, drink party is going on the other side. Why? No, no, it is people will get bored, so let us entertain them. Are? Or they have come for some entertainment or what? They have come for a samskar. That sanctity, sacredness should be there, and that when you do somewhere else, you want to do whatever, drink and dance and slosh yourself and drown and fall unconscious. That is the way of celebration. One thinks as a great celebration one did. Do it somewhere else. Don't do in the venue where the Havan has to happen, where this sacred place it is. And you see the difference it will happen. Because the Vedic mantras are to be chanted in the state of purity. It can't be chanted just like that, anywhere, anyhow. So Shuchi, very, very important is this. Bhakti, one has to purify every single thing that one offers to Bhagwan, one purifies. Now, if that is a bhavana for things, how much it will be in our mind when what bhav are we offering to Bhagwan? Nothing adharmic we can offer to Bhagwan. No negative thought process and all that, and do bhakti on one side and have greed on the other side. And how people deride this whole Sanatan Dharma, it is we Hindus only do it. Ram Nam Japna Paraya Mal Apna. What kind of a lyric is that? If there are people who are doing that, that has to be corrected. That can't be promoted, no? Saying ki Ram Nam Japna Paraya Mal Apna. What? How can it happen like that? And so many villains and all this gangsters and this and that what are shown, they will always have some tilak or some bhasma, something. So one has to be clear. Bhakti doesn't mean all this. In fact, bhakti is opposed to all this. The word bhakta itself today people have spoiled it. It is such a sacred, great, divine word. Look at the qualities of a bhakta. Anywhere close, we will come to this. Bhagavan says, these are the devotees whom I love. Who is Shuchi, who is very clean, pure in noble, pure in intention, pure in thinking, having the cleanliness inside, outside. Anapekshaha, Shuchihi, Dakshaha. Daksha means efficient also. Daksha means alert also. Bhakta is very alert. In fact, Gurudev used to say alertness, alert and vigilant living is a sadhana by itself. And alertness is the price one pays for freedom. If I want to be free, I have to be very alert. Alert of what? The movement of my ego. And when this ego rises, I should be very alert and say, this has risen now, stop. Otherwise, ego rises, is like a snake, it will rise, it will bite, and we are still not aware. Then we realize, hurry, what happened? How did I speak like this? Oh, in what senses was I to do this? All kinds of thoughts come afterwards because I'm not alert. At that time, action has happened. Because of past vasana, I don't have control. I managed to do finish everything, then realize, hurry. And sometimes knowingly also one can't stop. Again, that is ego, Rajoguna. Alertness is required. So, Bhakta is very alert and Bhakta is very, very efficient. Quality matters. Bhakta is not somebody who is, because he's a Bhakta, very careless, somehow do it, chalta hai attitude, mediocre standards, or even low standards. Very efficient. Because that shows again Sattva Guna in the mind. Inefficiency is Tamoguna, laziness, lethargy, do it somehow, not punctual, not prompt. All those qualities are not Bhakta's qualities. Bhakta is very efficient. You see, Gurudev, what standards of efficiency he had and discipline, fantastic. Nobody can say that, oh, Chinmay mission, so it will happen somehow, anyhow. No, no, no. He set that standard. It will be very punctual, very nice, orderly, disciplined, proper work, coordinated, planned, executed well. And that's how he taught. And that's how he built the whole organization. Smallest of tasks, his attention to detail will be there, and the largest of the vision he will have. Both. That is Bhakta. There are some people who will not pay any attention to the detail, and somehow the work will happen hanky panky. And some people will go so much into micromanagement that they lose the sight of the bigger vision. Bhakta is one who has both highest vision and attention to detail and knows when to operate from what. So, Daksha means that very efficient. Anapekshaha, Shuchihi, Dakshaha, Udasina. Udasina means, oh, Swami, Bhakti is always Udas. No, no. Ut means up. Asina means to sit. One who is seated above, meaning whose vision is high. That's why I said, Daksha and Udasina, they're going together. Who does not identify just with the body or with the external things, who is anchored deep within in the supreme. And highest vision, that is, that all of us are one. That's the highest vision of oneness. That is Advaitik Drishti. Anchored in that, Udasina. And so, many times Bhakta will be indifferent to certain personal tiny pinpricks of life. Sometimes one is not bothered. Like, see, Gurudev used to sit and write letters in the morning. Many times people have seen him. It is absolutely cold. And he is just sitting with one Angavastram and he is writing away his letters. Udasin towards the body. He is not even feeling that cold there. Small, small things, disturb us so much. There's a book, with popular series of books. Don't sweat the small stuff. We sweat the small stuff. Little things. Arey, itna. See, attention to detail is one thing. Sweating the small stuff is something else. The small stuff creates so much of disturbance. Bhakta is free from all that. Conserves the energy for higher vision. So, Udasina meaning indifferent. Like, Gurudev used to tell this. Some brahmachari went to Gurudev in the early days, when Sandipani Sadhanalaya had started and Vedant course was initiated by Gurudev. Now Gurudev only has to bring all the donations for the running of the course, for the infrastructure, for the food of the brahmacharis, for their books, for everything. And so initial days were hard and they were not so, easy. And 5 year course were happening at that time, and there are no other people in the field to go out and do work and prachar and raise some funds. Gurudev is doing it all alone. So one brahmachari went one day and said, Swamiji, there are a lot of mosquitoes in my room. I'm not able to sleep properly. Can you please help me to do something? And Gurudev gave a fantastic reply. He said, you came here to sleep or to get awakened? First he said that. Then he said, These tiny mosquitoes are my soldiers to keep you awake. Now the brahmachari can't complain. He went. Not that Gurudev did not understand his problem or was unsympathetic, but he actually taught him, okay, they are my soldiers to keep you awake. You deal with it, bear with it. What else can you do? Figure it out. Eventually, in some days, he got a mosquito net, etc., and he put it out, send it to all these brahmacharis. But the point is, one has to rise above these things. You just look at the way he studied also. In Uttar Kashi, in so much of cold, take bath in the Ganga Ji, and having a stone as a pillow, sleeping on the ground, it is what all he has gone through. Tapasya, na? Only when a person has done tapas, one can become udasin. If one has a higher goal, then one can become udasin. Udasin meaning anchored in that higher goal. So the pettiness and little troubles, etc., one will bear it. One will not fret and fume on those things. Ut asina. So udasina, gatavyatha. No, all the vyatha, sorrows, grief, complaint, feeling miserable, gatavyatha, all gone. Bhakta is one who is happy because one has found the source of bliss within. Even if one is not found, one is happy in the very fact that Bhagwan's grace is there. One is able to do the sadhana, anchor in bhakti, and remember Bhagwan. One finds joy in that. And when Bhagwan wills, Bhagwan will take us, make us one also. So bhakta has no vyatha, gatavyatha. One powerful spiritual indicator of progress in spiritual life is gatavyatha. Did I become gatavyatha or not? Ask that question. Am I happy? If the answer comes genuinely, yes, I am happy. Why am I happy? Write down. There may be many reasons why one is happy. It could be many small reasons also. It could be bhakti also. It could be sadhana also. It could be Bhagwan also. It could be many things. But ask also that question. When you ask that question, see the answer. I am happy, but now starts the list of yatha. Because one is waiting. I am happy because of these 10 things, but the another 20 are not happening. Now that is the cause of my sorrow. So I can't even be fully happy. I'm not saying that there are no areas of improvement or there's nothing that can be done to, progress or overcome a weakness. No, but vyatha is not required. Why should there be vyatha in life? Grief, sorrow. Only when I'm attached to something and I'm seeing that not happening and I'm feeling less and I'm feeling incomplete, then there will be misery. What all blessings we have. We have a human body. We have such, whatever Bhagwan's grace is, whatever level of wealth I have, there are people, there are things I have done in my life, things I will do in my life. There is so much to be grateful for. And if there are some things which are not happening, for whatever reason they are not happening, or they did not happen, or something wrong happened in my life, forgive and let go and keep moving. What else can I do? If I hold on to it and keep grieving, keep feeling sorrowful, how long will I do that? You're only wasting my time and energy. That grief is natural, no doubt. I should deal with it. I should not escape from it. I should not suppress it. I should learn to overcome it. But I have to drop it at some point. Then why drag it so much and then drop it finally? Gatavyatha. How quickly I can drop, that is also my spiritual progress. A sadhak is one who is happy, who is prasanna, not gatavyatha. You're going on crying, cribbing. Yeah, people look at you and run. Hey, he's coming, run. Why? Now Shok Sabha will start. He will start saying all the complaints. And many times this happens to us that one is doing spiritual sadhana. Sometimes one is doing japa also, stotram chanting, meditation, all that, but vyatha from the heart is not gone. Because one is still expecting something from the world. That's why. Otherwise, vyatha will go. The joy of sadhana will destroy all vyatha. The surrender to Bhagwan, that whatever the jahi vidhi rakhe ram, tahi vidhi rahiye, will destroy the vyatha. But if that has not happened, then one will do sadhana on one side and one will be cribber, complainer, whiner, weeper. Full time it goes on. And one may find strange also. People will look at you and also sometimes find strange. इतना पूजा पाठ करता है फिर भी इतना negative क्यों है? Because the person is not letting go. That's all. A person is not dropping that. He is carrying that burden and feeling victimized and feeling some sense of attention, joy, or whatever you call it, because of that baggage. So one has to drop gatavyatha, udasinah gatavyatha, sarvarambha parityagi. All the actions which could be initiated, this person has renounced. Meaning this person will not start anything new. Sarvarambha parityagi means what? Will sit quietly and whenever bhiksha is sent, will eat. No. Sarvarambha parityagi. This word has created so much confusion in the minds of people. They think that no, I can't initiate anything. Why? I'm a bhakta. I'm a sannyasi. This is not my job. And what is your job? Gurudev used to make a lot of fun of this. If you read it, if you listen to his talk on this, he will say that this man has renounced all the actions. Why? Because Gita said so. Sarvarambha parityagi. So, Swamiji, I have renounced everything and I am sitting below a tree. At 12 o'clock, I open my mouth and I eat my food and again I close my mouth. Like that, he will do the full dramatization of that story. That who is this unproductive fellow who is sitting? Why is he sitting like that? Because Sarvarambha parityagi. Gita said it. So, I will not start anything new. Only I keep opening my mouth at the right time to eat bhiksha. This is what has led to downfall of Sanatan Dharma also, where one has misunderstood some of this and say, no, I will not initiate, I will withdraw, I will sit quietly. See, somebody who is ready for that is a different matter. High level of Sattva Guna, they don't have to initiate anything. But those are different types of bhaktas. One should not take this literally. Sarvarambha parityagi meaning even if one initiates something, there is no ego in it for one's own self-gratification. Gurudev started so many Chinmay Mission centers and temples and schools and hospitals. But he still Sarvarambha parityagi. Why? Not a single thing he did was for himself. So Arambha Tyagi does not mean no initiation, no new project, no new venture or no new selfless mode of service. No. As per one's temperament, what one feels inspired by, what is required, one will initiate. But one doesn't want anything out of it for oneself. Not even praise of people. All one is doing it is for Bhagavan. Bas. And because one is inspired selflessly, one is serving. Sarvarambha parityagi means that. Otherwise, one will become dull, tamasic. If you read his commentary on this, is also commentary itself is very powerful. Talk though is a different level only. So he writes here, that this literal translation has made the majority of Hindus incompetent idlers, and our religion has been criticized as glorifying idleness as a divine ideal. The deeper suggestions are overlooked. To perceive any definite beginning in an undertaking, the individual actor must have a solid, gross, egoistic claim that he has begun it himself. He must have the strong feeling that he is beginning an activity for the purpose of getting a definite goal, whereby he will be fulfilling a specific desire of his, or will thereby be gaining a positive profit. This is general understanding of Arambha. Gurudev says here that this person doesn't do that. One who is a seeker of the divine, striving to reach the higher cultural perfections, must renounce this egoistic sense of self-importance and work on in the world. That's it. That's all is the meaning of Sarvarambha Parityagi. Very simple. So these are such beautiful shlokas, and all these are the qualities. So when such a person is there who is free from expectation, insistence, who is clean, who is alert, who is efficient, who has gone beyond all grief, who is indifferent to petty things in life, whose vision is high, who starts anything with no ego, do it for the joy of service or dedicate to Bhagwan or a higher purpose. Such devotees, yo mad bhaktaha same priyaha. That person is very dear to me. I'm just going to take one more because this we have already covered. This comes here. यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः. न हृष्यति does not get elated, न द्वेष्टि doesn't hate, न शोचति doesn't have grief, न काङ्क्षति does not have expectation. All these we have covered earlier. It's just put in a different context here, different terms here, sorry. Shubha Ashubha Parityagi. The auspicious and the successful and the failure, or the favorable and the unfavorable, whatever results come, Parityagi, meaning that doesn't drop the result, drops the attachment to the result. Like there doesn't drop action. Sarvarambha Parityagi. Same way, Shubha Shubha Parityagi doesn't mean that drops the result. Result nobody can drop. It has to be faced. The insistence on the result one drops. Bhaktimanya Same Priyaha. Whoever is this Bhaktiman, such a great devotee who is full of devotion, is very dear to me. So for today we will stop here, and next week we won't have a class, but week after that we will conclude this 12th chapter. We will thank all our Yajmans. So the Mukhya Yajmans for the whole series, Kalpana Morparia ji, Parag Wagh, Bharat Khanna ji and Vandana Jagwani ji. Geeta Aarti Yajman for all the sessions, Ajay ji, Deepti ji, Hemant ji, Jyotsna ji, Jolly ji, Jayashri ji, Tarana ji, Rashmi ji, Sapna ji, Rajan ji, Shalini ji, Nalini ji, Vijaya ji, Nandita ji and Saraswati ji. Dainik Yajman for today, Mamta Mukhopadhyay ji, Balasubramanya ji, Sudhanshu Gupta ji and Majnu Gauture ji. And the Dainik Aarti Yajman for today, Tejal Patel ji. So we invoke Bhagwan's grace, Gurudev's blessings on the Yajmans, their families, and everyone present here. May Bhagwan bless us with all these great divine qualities of the Bhaktas, make us humble, may we remember the divine through all our actions, and may Bhagwan finally make us such devotees who are very dear to him. Om Tat Sat, Jai Shri Krishna.
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिय कमल विहारिणि सुन्दर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनि कामासक्तिहरा तत्त्वज्ञान विकासिनि विदारिणि कारिणि मोद सदा भवभयहारिणि तारिणि परमानन्दप्रदा ॐ जय भगवती आसुरभावविनाशिनि नाशिनि तमरजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनि हरिरसिका सजनी ॐ जय भगवती समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवती दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरि पद प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर लीजय ॐ जय भगवती ॐ जय भगवती मैया जय भगवती हरिया कमल विहारिणि सुंदर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवती ॐ जय भगवती ॐ जय भगवती बोलिए गीता मैया की जय
बोलिए श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। यस, माला जी।
Hariam Swamiji, you were telling the story of the Pandav's life, and I just remembered that Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans is telling this story in the Gospel, that when Bhishma was lying on the arrows, he was weeping. So Krishna tells the Pandavas that you go and ask him why he is weeping. So Arjun goes, and I don't know, maybe the others also. So he tells that whole life Krishna Bhagwan has been with the Pandavas, whole life from childhood, but there is no end to their grief. I mean, who can understand, his Leela? And actually, it's really true. It's, it's really difficult to fathom, isn't it?
But were they grieving?
Um,
There is no end to the problems that they may be subjected to, but were they grieving or they were happy? You think how Pandavas lived? Did they live in victimization, in the sense of injustice being done to them and being very angry, upset, sad? No, they were happy. Look at them, look at their life, how they have lived. They were happy in the
Something,
forest. They are born in the forest. They
mhm,
lived in the forest. They came. They were given such terrible land, Khandav Prastha, which they
mhm.
converted into Indraprastha. And they made the best of what was given to them. Did at any point in time they say, this is, they may have felt this is wrong and they may feel upset about it, but did they live their life in grief? Think about
Mm,
it.
maybe I'm actually I've seen the Mahabharat serials, so I'm trying to recollect from there. So
Even there, if you see the serial, even if the serial is a pramana, how they
mhm,
lived, you see that Ekachakrapuri, they lived there, and that Bakasur, there they had killed that fellow, and then this Hidamba Rakshas also, that Bhim went and killed and married that Hidambi, and then they had Lakshagra, Vidurji came to help them. They got out of that place. You look at any episode of their life, yes, they have been subjected to terrible injustices, no doubt in that. But that's what is the point that they are trying to show now in Mahabharata. People who follow dharma may also get challenges, may get more challenges, but because they are following dharma and they are anchored in bhakti, They don't victimize themselves. That's the
And
point.
how
Hmm.
and how to understand his Leela, or
That is his Leela. See, the if you go by law of karma, there's some past karmic debt that is being settled. If you go by law of karma, because nothing happens by randomness. And it is his
Mhm.
Leela to show to the world that how bhakti, if you are anchored in, you can face all the challenges. You look at any bhakta's life, it will be like this only. One will feel, what is the use of bhakti then? But that is the use of bhakti. Ramji is so much devoted to Bhagwan Shiva, went through all troubles or not? Prahlad went through so many troubles. Narsi Mehta went through so many troubles. Tukaramji went through so many troubles. Mirabai went through trouble. Any great bhakta has gone through enough and more trouble which an ordinary person can't even think.
Mhm.
But they came out of it with flying colors. They don't, it only reinforces their shraddha. It only reinforces the fact that bhakti is the anchoring that we need. Then emotionally we will be strong. That's the Leela of Bhagwan. And those who are not anchored in bhakti properly, how they have, in spite of everything they have, they still feel miserable, incomplete, and egoistic. What does Ravan does not have? And people call him great bhakta also. How is Ravan a great bhakta? Just because he is knowledgeable doesn't mean he make him a great bhakta. Shivji and Ramji, Ramji and Ravan both are worshipping Shivji only. Whose devotion do we give example of? Is Ramji's devotion. Shivji remembers Bhagwan Ram more than Ravan. So bhakti is like that. It will make us very strong to go through all difficulties of life, and that's the whole point. It is not that bhakta escapes from difficulties. Bhakta rises above difficulties, and unimaginable difficulties will come in the life of a bhakta because of some past karmic reasons, whatever it may be. It won't happen just like that randomly. And yes, there are other times of a bhakta's life also where there are good things which have happened. Both are there. And that's why Shubha Shubha Parityagi is the line given there in the Gita. In Prahladji's life also, so many nice things have also happened. So,
Okay. Prahladaji's life, that 6 months thing, I remember that he got mukti in 6 months' time.
that is
Yes, so that.
Dhruva. That is
Acha,
Dhruva.
oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, yes, yes, yes. True, true, true. Okay. Okay. Okay, Swamiji. Thank you. Thank
Dhruva.
you.
Yes, Karan.
Hariam Swamiji. Swamiji, I've had a doubt actually that I wanted to clarify with you, and it's so interesting that you
The
actually.
voice is coming and going.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's my internet connection. Am I? Is it better? I'll move to another.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, is it better? I've had a doubt, Swamiji, which I wanted to clarify, and it's very interesting that you actually speak about it in verse 16. It's a nice coincidence as well. But in an earlier verse, the term matpara has been used many times. The bhakta makes Bhagwan the supreme goal of life. And at the same time, the bhakta continues to do his or her duty. So, for example, if they have to take care of their family, they think of their family members as another form of Bhagwan and they serve them. Now, my doubt was basically, would it not be tempting for somebody to just do that and then avoid taking up a higher goal on the worldly plane, which, say, benefits the nation or benefits society. So, for example, in Japan, I believe that everybody does something but then connects it to the higher good of Japan. So for them, the higher goal is their country. So now my question was, would it not be tempting for people to therefore not select a higher goal in life and just be satisfied with serving their family, doing their duties, and then dedicating it to Bhagwan, and then nothing more else in terms of work for society or nation or the progress of.
If they have not made Bhagwan as their highest goal, if Matpara has not happened, and they are not having other higher goal, like you are saying, to dedicate to the nation or any other higher purpose, then that is tamoguna only.
No, sorry, I mean to say that they have a higher goal of Matpara, but they don't have a higher goal in the worldly plane.
So that is possible if a person, but that requires highest level of sattva guna.
But wouldn't it be convenient for people to choose that as an
No,
option?
definitely, it is very convenient for people to choose that, but that's not what the Gita is saying. What is the Gita saying? Who is that goal that you are to reach? That goal is not some abstract state. That supreme consciousness alone is everywhere. So if you are saying that a person is dedicating the actions to Bhagwan by serving the family and then not having any other higher goal, then your the definition of Bhagwan in the mind of that person is only the family then.
Exactly.
One is not seeing the nation also as appearance of Bhagwan, the world as the appearance of Bhagwan, and also the duty that one has. Bhagwan said very clearly in the Gita, Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. If I am staying in a nation, I have a duty towards my nation until I don't become a complete renunciate of the ego. As long as I am a jiva, I have duties, and duties are at all different levels. So out of 5 levels of duties, I'm just giving an example. Out of 5 levels, if I say no, no, I will choose only one and dedicate to Bhagwan, then I'm not doing the four. That will get me pratyavaya dosha actually. So I have duty towards, let us say, myself, towards my family, towards my culture, towards my country, towards the world. I'm just giving broadly. Now, in that, I'm not doing certain duties. I'm saying only I and my family, that's all. Then what happened to my duty as my country? Then I should not take benefits from my country. What happened to duty towards my culture? What happened to duty towards the whole world, including environment and all those? The Gita is very clear, duty has to be done.
But one could take it out of context that Matpara means as long as I am serving Bhagwan, that's sufficient, that I'm only looking after.
No, so what did Bhagavan say in that? If you make me as your highest goal, right? So if you make him as the highest goal, who is he? He is infinite. What are his expressions? This whole world. I can't say Matparaha means my family alone is Bhagwan.
No, in the sense, as I said, people may just say that, I am taking care of my duties, my family duties, and that means I'm not ignoring them. But it's restricted to that, and then therefore society as a whole is not.
Exactly. So then don't take benefit from society then. See, Arjun could have done that, no? That's what whole Mahabharata is for that. War is only for that or not? Arjun is doing exactly that. Now, what you are saying is what Arjun is doing. He is saying, I will not fight because these are my people. I will live in the forest quietly and I will sit and think of you and I will live by begging alms, which is exactly this. I'll make Bhagwan my matpara, my goal. I took care of my family. I don't want to kill these other people who are my extended family and all that. I will do only for myself. No, no. Bhagwan says that you can't do because you have a duty. You have a duty to protect dharma. You are a kshatriya and this country needs your this thing because adharma is increased. So Bhagwan himself is setting that example or not. Now if somebody wants to take it out of context, like you said, that is possible. That misinterpretation anybody can do. But the Gita doesn't encourage that at all. Gita very, very clearly says that you do your duty. Mayyeva mana adarsva mai buddhim niveshaya, he says. Man and buddhi, everything has to be invested in me. Until you are that level of sattvic, highly sattvic seeker who is ready for renunciation, you have a duty and the duty is at all levels. There is no selection possible in the duty. Ki only this much I will do, others I will not do because you are getting benefit from there. Which is why as long as expectations are there from any source, I have duty towards that source. That is a simple fundamental philosophy of the Indian scriptures. If you are having expectations from the country, you are having expectations from the world, you are living, taking things from them, you have a natural obligatory duty towards them. If one doesn't fulfill those, definitely the karmic consequences of pratyavaya dosha will happen. You may say that I'm doing my duty towards my family and thinking of it only, I'm dedicating it only to Bhagwan. That does not absolve one from the debt. Which is why, and especially as a grahasti, we should remember that. Grahasti meaning not only a married person, meaning a person who has not renounced. I am saying in that context. So the culture very clearly says that Devaran, Rishiran, Pritraran, Bhutaran, and Manusharan. We have na 5 debts we have. Now in that the country will come. Definitely the Rashtraran will come. Where? It will come in the Bhutaran only. All the other beings, it will come in that. So if one does not fulfill, one may choose, which is what many people do today. They don't even go and vote. Then you have no right because you didn't do the duty. Now you can't complain. Now you can't say this is wrong and that is wrong. So Gita doesn't encourage that. If one may misinterpret, that is possible.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. It's possible that someone can misinterpret.
Yeah, definitely. Misinterpretation तो कोई भी कुछ भी कर सकता है उसमें तो. They can say that I don't even have to do it for my family, and like Arjun wants to escape, one say I am renouncing everything and going. When one is not ready, one wants to not take up responsibility, so they know I am renouncing, I am only dedicated to Bhagwan. So that also is possible then.
Okay, Swami. Thank you.
Hari Om. The word Udasino has come in chapter 14, verse 23, but meaning is different. Where is the meaning different in that verse? Chapter 14, verse 23. That also is the lakshana of the Gunatita only, no? Where the word, chapter 14, 23rd verse says, Udasina Vadasina Gunairiyona Vichalyate. That also same. Udasinavat Asinaha. Who is seated above, meaning the 3 gunas. Gunairiyona Vichalyate is not disturbed by the gunas. Guna Vartante ityeva yo avatisthati na ingate. So who is established in the 3rd state, which is Gunatita Lakshana. Bhakta Lakshana also is same. Bhakta is actually seated above, meaning one with Bhagwan. That's the highest level anyways. At one level below, we say that established in a higher ideal of wanting to seek the truth, wanting to realize oneness with Bhagwan, and so the little disturbances don't disturb. See, unconcerned means what? The translation you may say unconcerned, but Udasinavat Asinaha. We seated in that supreme state of 3 gunas, beyond 3 gunas. Gunairyo na vichalyate. The person is not disturbed by the gunas. So the difference in this is what? In the 12th chapter, it is said the person is not disturbed by small things in life, has risen high. Here it is said the person is not disturbed by the gunas, is seated in the gunatita, which is self. That's the only difference. Here it is bhakta is one with Bhagwan. There the gunatita is one with the self. And because the person is beyond the 3 gunas, is unconcerned about the 3 gunas. Whatever happens is guna guneshu vartante. It is a play of the gunas with the prakriti, with the body, mind, intellect, that will keep happening. So the person remains in sakshi bhav. So in this 14th chapter, it is sakshi bhav. There it is bhakti. One says, I am bhakta, I am connected with Bhagwan, I am doing it for Bhagwan. One is not bothered about other small things, and the ego, which it will be very, attached to things. This person is not attached to that. So that's why guna vartanta iti eva. This is gunas which are playing their role. One remains fully detached. So in essence, they both mean the same actually. But because we interpret the bhakta level also at one level where we can apply it in our sadhana so that we reach the highest level of a bhakta who is one with Bhagwan, then there appears to be a little difference. But actually there is no difference. It is same. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.